And so I'd always have to take care of her when I was like, when she was ill, when she was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis. And it was no big deal. Like, I enjoyed helping her. It was something that was interesting because a few of my peers would ask, like, what's that? Like, why is your mom carrying an oxygen tank? And I'm like, oh, like, obviously it's normal for me to be like, oh, yeah, I don't know. It's, like, normal. Like, she just needs her oxygen tank because, like, it helps her breathe. She has pulmonary fibrosis, and I kind of go in and talk about, like, what really is it with them. But I don't want to, like, talk forever about it. I just had to help her a lot through a few things. At least it felt for me because I was still a kid, and I mean, as much as I wanted to go outside a lot or just do normal things, I would always have to like kind of put my mom's like just needs first, because overall developing it does, you know, the severity of it affects the person that has it, and as years go by it gets really tough. Like, it gets so complicated. And so, like, I didn't mind doing the things that she asked me to do. Like, if I really needed to pick up a, like, just grocery while she was just waiting in the car, I would definitely go run that. I would, you know, call appointments or tell whoever oxygen person that would always come that, oh, we're running out of tanks, like, I want the large tanks, the big tanks, or, oh, we need a few of the oxygen, like, tubes, the smaller ones or the larger ones, and just things like that. Like, I wouldn't mind, or even setting up appointments, as much as I could translate back to the doctor that if she needed help. Even at school, like, I know in high school we're not supposed to use our phones, like, we're not supposed to call anybody. I mean, we can use our phones, but we can't call anybody. And so I'd be like, whatever, like, it's my lunch, or maybe like I'm gonna make a bathroom break and she's in the hospital. I'd always have to call, like, hey mom, how are you doing? Do you want me to translate? Do you need any help? Like, etc. Like, how's your day? Like, you know, what have they said? And things like that would occur. Like, I'm just like, I normally don't have to call her. Like, I just wanted to make sure she was okay. And just generally checking up on her, like, if she's okay. But overall, she was just really positive. She was very, like, I don't know, she just had just a ball of energy. Like, although she was getting really weak, just something about her just still kept up with, like, smiling and just kind of keeping this positive outlook on life, like, even knowing that she was gonna pass away. If anybody knows about I can't remember her last name, but she had cystic fibrosis. One of this girl that I followed on Instagram and on YouTube, which she was probably like the same age as me. Like, she was like 18, 19, if not 20. Like, she was a pretty young, yeah, she was pretty young, and she had cystic fibrosis, and she passed away this year. I know I was crying when I heard that, because I would always watch her channel. I watched, I remember her name was Claire. Her last name, I think it started with a W. I may be wrong, but I remember watching her few videos talking about cystic fibrosis, her journey, TED Talks, and just how it was really like to die, like, all of that. And even when my mom was alive, I remember having, like, this Scholastic, I think that's what it's called. It's like Scholastic News, or not news, or like Scholastic paper thing. And I showed it to my mom, like, oh my god, mom, like, this girl kind of has the same thing, although you have pulmonary, but she has cystic fibrosis, but you guys share the same qualities. And she was kind of upset that, you know, this young girl was developing something that's just as, like, you know, the same as her. I mean, I was reading a lot about her. I was getting to know just more of like what it really is, because I think at this point I was still in middle school, and that's like how I got it. So I told my mom about her. I mean, she was like, oh, she looks so pretty, like, you know, she's even having like this positive energy, like that's like so strange. Like, even Claire had this positive energy, like something about her would always like, and just brighten something, like just something just about her made me smile. Like, I was even following her on Instagram, like she was just super funny. She just, I know they're just pictures, and I know when you're on social media you like to put your like just best out of anything, but she'll even post about like if she's really struggling through a moment of just really just tough moments in her life, she'll definitely post it on YouTube or address it on Instagram, and you know, but something about her would just kind of kept the positivity just alive, and it was something that my mom would constantly do. But I know it's really, really different for how everybody else in my family is grieving, like even my dad. Although my mom and dad had separated, my dad was still able to support my mom. My brother, both of my brothers, my sister, they're all coping differently. I haven't really 100% talked about them like recently, like if I were to ask them today, like how are they really doing, like how is this really affecting them. But I know for me it's a lot difficult, not the fact that I've had this attachment to her, but it's the fact that when it comes to grieving, I'm also dealing with the trauma of like having to witness your mom die, you know. And I know I shouldn't think about it this way, but for me it's crazy that she had to hear my own first breath, you know, like when she gave birth to me and all, like she saw literally me starting a life like in front of her eyes, like I'm right here, you gave birth to me, and then having your own mom, the one I gave birth to, just die. And it just felt weird because I never like hear people die. Like, you can probably just kind of see that person like from like historical images. Yeah, they kind of look like, you know, dead. But like I feel like hearing it is like undescribable. Like, it's weird because when at night, you know, she has to like have her oxygen tank on if she's at home, and you can hear it because it's like it's a pretty big machine. And just the fact that she was sleeping, I was trying to go to sleep because she was telling me like, and she came back from the hospital. I wasn't told this, but like something happened to her during the hospital, but she wanted to go home because the thing is, she didn't want to die in the hospital. She just wanted to be at home. So I wasn't told of what really happened during the hospital till my grandmother from Mexico came, and everybody was talking about it. And I was like, great. Nobody told me. Yet, and I don't want to like say that nobody helped her, but like at least I felt like I was just around her a lot more to feel like I was really invested in what was going on with her. Because I know my brother Eric and my sister Annie definitely did a lot to help as much as they can. Like, I know that. I definitely don't discredit them at all. I just, it's hard for me to like have this like worry and just involvement in all this. And I know it's because I'm young. It does affect you if you're very young knowing about this. Knowing that your mother's sick, knowing that there's no cure at all, no chances, even if the surgery for the lung transplant is an option, there's always a 50-50 chance either. And that's how Claire died, because Claire, she had the transplant. It was successful, but like within a few hours or so, she ended up dying. So my mom didn't want to have that risk. It sounds really crazy because it's like, I was just cleaning, I was organizing. I love organizing, I love cleaning. That was something that I even kept up with my mom when she was alive, like vacuuming, because we have a cat and it's, cat hair, her having difficulty breathing. Like, I was really on and all about it. Like, okay, fine, like I'll vacuum, like it's no worries, like I got it. Like, if you want to keep the cat, I just have to vacuum constantly, just keeping things clean, dust, everything. I was fine. But there was just this one day where I was just cleaning, and obviously they gave her papers like when she leaves the hospital, or just any other information that she gets from the hospital, that she was gonna have a surgery within a few days. But obviously it couldn't happen because she passed away. I mean, I knew she wanted to do the surgery. Like, I knew she was going to be waiting in line. She told me, like, oh, like, it's going to happen now. Like, I changed my mind. I really do want to get with the surgery. But I never knew it was going to be really soon. I didn't know about that. And it sounds weird because it's like I was always involved. That, why wouldn't she tell me about it? But I don't know. Because I knew when surgery, like generally just talking about surgery, it would kind of freak her out. Like, it would freak her out. Maybe she was just not wanting to share that. Especially with me, because I think it would freak me out as much. I ended up finding out on my own years after she passed away, and I was kind of mad. I was kind of mad why people wouldn't tell me, or why was this hidden. I mean, she's my mom, she's our mom, she's like, I know even if it's for whatever reason, like maybe if I was like really way too young to know about this, but I feel like it would have been appropriate for me to know. Me knowing that she was about to have surgery. I don't know. I have to keep telling myself, like, it still wouldn't have made a difference. Like, even if she had the lung transplant, it wouldn't have made a difference. She lived a long life, even without the transplant. But, like, I don't know. Like, who knows? Like, what if she actually had the transplant, and she, for maybe even for a few months, she would have been okay, not needing the oxygen tanks, the tubes always up in her nose. Like, she can actually just be as free as she can be. But I'm happy that she was able to live a pretty decent, amount of time without needing that. Because she was like, when she passed away, she was 54. So, around her 50s, pretty okay. Because I know Claire passed away pretty early. But that's because she had it since she was a kid. But I also heard because when you get older, it gets way difficult with having cystic pulmonary fibrosis, like what a flashback is. But I'm just literally hearing my mom die, and sometimes it'll be out of the blue, sometimes like that memory of like hearing a person just stop breathing freaks me out. Even when I was calling my dad when my mom passed away, like I was trying to get a hold of him in the morning, but he couldn't answer me. He was at work, he was just working, and when he had a time to pick up, maybe it was like during his break, that like I remember like specifically where I was at. Like I was outside, like we just kind of came back from arranging her funeral, and I just heard him, and I felt like I was still hearing it, like in my head, how bad it affected him, because I didn't think it was gonna be so bad, you know, like they had a rocky relationship, but hearing him cry and then seeing him cry on the funeral, like it bothered me, because like my boyfriend was parked in front of the house, which is normal, and I don't have like those types of memories or flashbacks or any of that, but the fact that I was just kind of waiting and he was parked there, I just started crying and reliving things until he snapped me out of one. He was like, "Tell me, are you okay? Like, why are you crying?" And then it was just, I felt like it was already, because when I called him, it was like so bright, it was summer, it was sunny. I felt like it was already that time. I was like reliving it and calling my dad, hearing him. I felt like I was just in it again. When I witnessed my mom die, like, it's really weird. Like, I feel like now that I know what death sounds like, and nothing from like, I guess, you know, the movies, like, you know, you can, I guess, see and understand it in that way, but when it realistically happens, I feel like it's shocking. Like, it's way more surreal. But maybe it's just the fact that I had someone that I really cared about pass away. Like, die in front of me, which I never thought would happen, especially at a young age. I felt bad because I remember my sister feeling so sick, like and everybody here, and it sounds weird, but once we figured out she passed away, like completely, and I've explained this in one of my other videos, that I was taking Seroquel, and this was when it happened, when I took Seroquel, and I had to go to sleep because I was on heavy dosage already on Seroquel, but I heard her die. It sounds so weird. Like, wouldn't it make me go alert? But once I'm already really, like, I don't know how to describe it, because it's like a sleeping pill. Like, it's supposed to make you, I guess, knock out, but it's really strong, so it would kind of make me knock out. Like, now I'm really tired, but I don't know, like, I went to sleep, but I knew when I really woke up from my mom's phone ringing, like, I quickly got up, I looked at the time, like, first, okay, in the exact order, I looked at the time, I heard the phone, I panicked, I looked at her, shook her, and then I went running to my brother's room, knocking at his door, because I was telling him, Mom is not waking up. What do I do? Because I heard her die, but I didn't think she died. I don't know, because it sounds weird, because I would hear her oxygen tank, or like the oxygen tube, going on. But then I realized, yeah, she wasn't breathing, but I thought she was in a way, but then I knew she wasn't because I was just only hearing the tank. And then, like, something about her, like, went while she was kind of sleeping, and I know it sounds like, what the fuck, like, wouldn't you check? But it's hard, because, like, Seroquel is a very strong drug, like, it's, I don't want to put the excuse on Seroquel, but, like, I was not ready to hear or witness any of that go on. But also, I've realized I didn't sleep well the week while she was at the hospital. Because I felt this bad energy being in my room. Like, I was just sleeping in the living room. I was sleeping on the couch. Like, I was feeling like I was hearing things. Obviously, my sister came. She told me that, hey, like, no, it's fine. Like, I think I can hear it. Like, I know what you're talking about, but it's like, I don't know where to find it. But overall, I was just, why was I scared of being in my room? I just didn't want to sleep there. I didn't want to be there at night. But when she came back, I was just so happy that everything felt comfortable. She came back smiling. She was happy. She was talking on the phone. She was just, felt normal. It felt normal. And nighttime came. I felt so comfortable now that I'm normally sleeping in my bed. And just weirdly hearing her die for a, like, 100% sleep. Like, I knock out. But it really doesn't get out of my mind that I've heard it. How everybody felt. Like, to the step where we 100% found out that she passed away, to the point of the funeral. How everything felt. Like, me before stepping in to that, the funeral home, that, like, having her, the casket opening thing. Like, before we entered the building, before me and my dad entered the building, like, I felt like my heart sank. I felt everything drop down. Like, I couldn't believe it was happening. I didn't want it to happen. I was already 15. And, she just wanted to see a lot from me. And I couldn't let her go. Like, it was hard for me having her, or having just the people closing the casket, because obviously we had to carry on with the service and the funeral. I mean, like, the actual, like, just her just going down. But I hated the fact that I had to leave her sight. But I mean, and it was raining that day when we had to, go outside the burial. And people were just ready to go. But, like, even before the burial, going on the open casket service, like, it sounds really weird, or maybe it's not for some of you, but, like, I remember just kissing her forehead. Like, I kissed her twice. Like, I didn't want to, like, let her go, but I knew she felt so cold. Like, obviously, like it wasn't her. But like regardless, even if it wasn't her in there, like, yeah, it was my mom, but like my sister said, like, she's gone, like we have to go. Didn't want to go, like even if she's gone, like I couldn't go. I don't know. I couldn't leave her even if it was raining, even if everything was just done. And like, well, what was I gonna do? Just be there all night? Because I can't. I have to go. I had to leave. And I didn't want to leave. It was hard for me enough to leave, but everybody was ready to go. Everybody was leaving. Everybody was gone. They were gone to their cars. But I just didn't want to go. Even if she was already dead, long days before the funeral, like I didn't want to go. Even when it came to arranging the funeral and just having all that sorted out, I came back home and I was on her bed and her bed started to shake. I never had that type of experience, and it sounds crazy because, I mean, of course, I was always conflicted to the fact that maybe ghosts aren't real. That type of energy wouldn't be real, but it was that day because her bed was shaking. And then I keep having these dreams of her, either good ones or bad ones. But I hate, well, one of the dreams that I had of her, which was recently, was I was hearing her die again. Like twice in one of my dreams. Like, why was this happening twice in one of my dreams? Like, this is really weird. But I was having it. I woke up. I don't know. And then there was this moment where I think it was before I was gonna go to sleep too. I just had another flashback again. My boyfriend was there to witness it again, but this time I was thinking about my mom. I couldn't stop crying. He was already like sleeping, but apparently I woke him up when I was crying. But I just can't leave the fact of anything that she's not here. Like, I don't know, there's just things where I wished I could have had her for more years. Because I am jealous that my siblings, my sister, both of my brothers were able to have her longer than I did. Because for almost 16, 15 years, that's not enough compared to them already being adults. My sister was already 26. My brothers, they're both in their mid-30s at the time. They had her for a long time. They definitely had their jobs. They know how to drive. They know how to get around life, even if it was from their own or having some slight help from our mom. Like, there are just so many things I wish I could do, and I'm 19. I have support systems like that can help me, like my family for one. I'm trying to be more open, learning about communication because I like to isolate myself. I like to be hidden. And trying to be more open, talk about my mental health, even though it was so hard for me to talk to anybody in my family except for my mom, because I'd always tell her about anything. Okay, so far, although it's been like 3.5 years, kind of. Yeah, 3.5 years almost. But I'm really happy because even though she's passed away, I always think about the good times, the things that she loved, the things that even though I was a teenager, I was like, oh, that's gross. Like, I hated flowers. I don't like flowers, but now it's like anything I wear, I like to wear a lot of floral stuff. I like flowers with anything. Like, even if I'm not wearing it, I like to look at them. I would like to save photos of flowers. I like to take pictures of flowers. I like any flowers. Like, it's like even my my little planner, it's like flowers. Like, I'm happy that I started college because I had to give myself a year break. Because I couldn't give myself a year break in high school. Like, that's crazy. Like, I can't really stop high school. But after high school, I was just like, okay, I gotta take a year break. A few of my relatives were like, what? Like, are you sure about that? But I knew myself at the point that, yeah, I need a break. Like, I don't want to go straight ahead because during high school, my grades were disgusting. Like, they were not at all the best. Although, I will say, I did made so much effort in one of my classes, like my junior year, which was actual like first year where she passed away. Like, I was not the first year, but like, because she passed away while I was like a sophomore turning into a junior, so this was like that summer. I don't know, I just like social studies. Like, it was like my happy place. And when I had government for junior year, although government was meant for the seniors, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, I don't mind. I was just really happy taking it. I was happy in that class. I was just really involved more than any of the classes that I had for those 2 years of high school left, with, you know, dealing with all of that stuff. And I just felt so happy. Like, even if it was just me writing an essay on government, like anything related with government, like, I was just like, okay, like, I'm fine with that. Like, I'll definitely do a lot of research. I'm on it. Like, I was just so involved. Like, I was really happy. I got a good grade in that class. One of the only classes that I got a good grade on. And I felt like that was one of my happy places. Had an awesome teacher. Pretty cool. But government, I was really involved. I don't know, maybe just because, like, my mom, she was like, oh, one day you'll be president. And I was like, no, it's like, that's too much of a big job to, like, do, right? But I was like, yeah, whatever, Mom. Like, of course I will. And so government, like, I had that in mind. And maybe I will, like, maybe for high school, yeah, definitely. And I got voted from my class, and I won for my class, but like for the entire school, obviously I didn't. Like, I'm not that popular or something. But able to win my class vote was pretty happy. Like, I was really happy that I did that. Just finding yourself like doing something that really brings you back into this positive like energy. Like, you want more of life. You want to keep doing it because now you're having this like drive to do it now. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. But maybe throughout all of this, you'll find something that's going to make you enjoy something. And just realize if you really enjoy it and you're like, oh my god, like, this is what makes me appreciate life, then keep doing it. Like, I'll definitely get the chance of looking at the night sky, like, or learning about space. That's something that I've kind of never really done at all. But learning about space, like, every in and out, like, I've watched like X amount of videos on space. Like, it's crazy. But then, like, even rewatching a lot of them, like, I was like, okay, fine, that's cool with me. And what also brings me at peace is like listening to planets before I go to sleep. Like, I like to listen to Neptune before I go to sleep. It makes me feel happy, it makes me feel calm. I like space. And it was really strange because I've never really kind of put that thought that I would really enjoy it the way I do now. And going to the planetarium, it was like, I went to it before with my sister, but when I went back again, I was like, I already know this information, like, why am I here? But it was kind of cool just kind of telling my boyfriend more about it, because it was new for him, just kind of going back, because I mean, he's already went there, but he went there as a kid, but really couldn't recall too much of what it really looked like, what was the experience. I recalled it just because I went recently with my sister, and we had a good blast, like, just learning about things, kind of, but it really just was never, like, stuck in my head up until I was watching a ton of videos on about space, and then when I went back to the planetarium, I was like, wait, I already know this, like, duh. But it was still a fun experience, just to realize that our world is so tiny, and, I mean, why make it any worse than it is, because we have to just move on, doing as much as we can to live forward and to just be happy and whatever brings us joy. I know it sounds like, oh yeah, duh, it's common sense, but it's really hard. But I just wanted to talk about it, just say something about it. But I mean, that's all I really have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If anything, if anybody that actually knows me wants to talk about it, and if you don't, I'm still happy to talk about it. But I just wanted to share the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.